If it feels harder to stay focused, even on things you care about, you're not imagining it. Something has shifted. You can sit down with a clear intention. You can know exactly what you want to do. And still, your attention doesn't stay where you put it. It drifts. It splits. It gets pulled in different directions. Most people interpret that as a personal failure. They assume their attention span has declined, that they've become more distracted, less disciplined. But that's not what's happening. Your focus didn't disappear. The environment became more aggressive. There are more things competing for your attention now than at any point in history. Not just occasionally, constantly. Every notification is a pull. Every recommendation is a pull. Every open tab is a pull. Every idea that enters your mind is another place your attention could go. And the important part is this. You don't have to fully engage with something for it to affect your focus. Even brief exposure is enough. You glance at a message, you check a notification, you switch tabs for a moment. Each one seems small, but focus doesn't break all at once. It fragments. Focus is not something you lose in a single moment. It's something that gets divided across many moments. And division creates instability. Because focus depends on continuity. It depends on your mind staying in one place long enough to build depth. When that continuity is interrupted repeatedly, your attention never fully settles. It keeps resetting, and every reset has a cost. Your brain has to reload context. It has to remember what you were doing, where you left off, what mattered in that moment. That reloading process uses energy, and when it happens over and over again, it creates fatigue. This is why you can feel mentally tired even after doing relatively simple work. You weren't necessarily working harder. You were switching more. And switching is expensive. It doesn't look like effort from the outside, but cognitively, it adds up quickly. This is one of the defining characteristics of the modern environment. Not just more information, but more interruptions, more entry points, more opportunities for your attention to shift. And most of them are designed to pull you. They are optimized to capture your attention, even briefly. Which means your focus is no longer operating in a neutral environment. It's operating in a competitive one. Your attention is being competed for, actively, at all times. That changes everything. Because focus used to be easier to maintain when fewer things were trying to take it. Now, even if you're clear about what you want to do, your attention is constantly being invited somewhere else. And invitations require decisions. Do I stay here? Do I check that? Do I respond now or later? Each decision, even if it takes a second, disrupts continuity. And continuity is what allows focus to deepen. Without continuity, your mind stays shallow. It moves across the surface of things instead of going into them. This is where many people begin to feel frustrated. They know they're capable of thinking deeply. They've experienced focus before, but now it feels harder to access. Not because it's gone, but because it's being interrupted more frequently than it used to be. This is the midpoint realization. Focus doesn't feel scarce because you have less of it. It feels scarce because it's being divided. When something is divided enough times, it starts to feel like it's disappearing. But it isn't. It's just spread too thin. Think about how often your attention shifts in a single hour. Even if you're trying to concentrate, there are moments where something pulls you slightly away. A quick check, a passing thought, a small interruption. Individually, these don't seem significant. But together, they break the continuity required for sustained focus. And without sustained focus, depth becomes difficult. You can start something, you can make progress, but reaching deeper levels of thought requires uninterrupted time. It requires your mind to stay engaged long enough to move beyond the surface. And that's what fragmentation prevents. Fragmentation keeps you in motion, but it prevents you from settling. This is why people often feel busy but not productive, active but not advancing. They're moving across many things, but not going deeply into any one of them. And depth is where meaningful work happens. This is also where artificial intelligence subtly increases the pressure. AI makes it easier to generate options, more ideas, more drafts, more possibilities. And while that's powerful, it also creates more directions your attention could go. Without clarity, those directions compete with each other. You start exploring one idea, then shift to another. You refine something, then reconsider a different approach. The tool accelerates possibilities. But without a stable focus, those possibilities can fragment attention further. Again, the tool isn't the issue. The environment, combined with unprotected attention, is. This is why some people feel sharper using AI, and others feel more scattered. The difference is not intelligence, it's how their attention is managed. Clear thinkers don't follow every direction. They choose one, and they stay with it long enough to develop it. That's where focus becomes powerful again. This is the second re-anchor. Your focus didn't disappear. It's being pulled in too many directions. That's a very different problem than lack of discipline, and it requires a different solution. You don't rebuild focus by forcing yourself to try harder. You rebuild focus by protecting your attention. Protection doesn't mean eliminating every distraction. That's not realistic. It means reducing how many things are allowed to compete for your attention at the same time. It means deciding what deserves your focus and letting other things wait. That decision is rooted in clarity. Because when you're clear on what matters, fewer things feel urgent. Fewer things feel necessary. Fewer things interrupt you. Clarity narrows the field, and when the field narrows, attention stabilizes. This is where focus starts to feel available again. Not because the world got quieter, but because your attention became more selective within it. Here's the closing truth for episode 18. Focus isn't something you lost. It's something that's been divided by a world that constantly pulls at your attention. When you reduce what competes for your attention, focus returns naturally. Not forced, not manufactured, but restored.